Heading into this first season in the Premier League, there's been one thing that has been dominating the comment section. Jaime, and how to say his name, and also, am I an idiot for playing him at defensive midfielder? Well, I'm here to tell you that I've read through the hundreds of comments, of which there were literally hundreds telling me, Jack, don't do it, and I've decided to ignore you all. He's playing as a roaming playmaker. We're going to talk about all of that in the moment. You might have even spotted a new face on this tactic screen. We've signed a few more players. Before we do all that, though, probably should run the intro. Yes, folks, how is it going? Welcome back to Part 2 Prem. Today is our first episode in the Premier League. This is episode number 83, by the way, if you've been keeping count. Before we get into things today, I do just want to say a massive thank you for the support on the series as of late. I hate to sound like a broken record, but the support has been absolutely bonkers, especially over the last few weeks. I think people are pretty excited about the point in the save game that we're at right now. As am I, for that matter, and be it you watch these videos on your lunch break, you watch them before bed, you watch them on your commute to work. Thank you for coming back each and every day to watch more and more of this. It is a pleasure to bring you some Football Manager goodness and a little escape from the world that we all live in. Now, of course, last episode we did have the transfer special. Today, to kick off the season, we have Middlesbrough away, followed up by Leeds United at home. In fact, the Leeds United game is a midweek game, which feels weird to have a midweek game for the second game in the Premier League. I don't feel like that's a normal thing. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, though, I do want to talk about some new signings, a couple of youngsters for the future, a couple of punts, I suppose, with the money that we've got left over, as well as one new first-team addition. We'll talk about the first-team addition first. It is Mikel Valentin. Almost certainly said that wrong. Danish viewers help me out. But yeah, in Football Manager, I feel like every save game, FC Copenhagen just have one really good Danish centre-back. Maybe that's just me, but yeah, Copenhagen seem to produce good Danish centre-backs. Mikel here is one such player. For his age, for his ability, £4 million is a steal. I mean, look, he's valued at £11 to £15 million already, so as far as I'm concerned, it's a great signing before he's even played a game. Last episode, I was also looking at Sam Carpenter. We have snapped him up from Newcastle United just as a little bit of an emergency backup left wing-back option. £350,000 for an 18-year-old with loads of potential, who is also English. Difficult to judge this transfer. You're not allowed to judge the Carpenter transfer. I will allow you to judge this one. Kian Cresser, 16 years old, Welsh player. We've signed him on a free transfer from Newtown. Signed him without scouting him. He might not be as good as I thought he was, but we signed him for free. So you know what? Worst case scenario, we lose a couple of £100 on him. Best case, he becomes the world's best player. That's probably not going to happen, though. 3 further youngsters to cover. If Cresser's forgettable, Colin Gilroy is perhaps the other player at risk of being forgettable. 17 years old, this man. We've snapped him up from Wraith for £31,000. The kind of player that I've just really bought because he could be good. He looks quite good. Whether or not he's got that much potential is a little bit of a question mark, but for £31,000, I just fancied a flutter. The last 2 players we picked up, 2 players very much for the future, 2 players who actually could play for us. The first is Felipe, 19 years old. His contract was expiring at Corinthians. We actually approached to sign him initially, then exercised the buy now option. He looks like a good little centre-back at 19 years old, has some really, really good mentals, some decent physicals as well, either-footed, maybe lacking in a couple of areas, but for the price we've paid, which was £94,000, I think he's a good signing. And the other man we've picked up is Samir Ibrahimovic. Samir, we could just call him Samir. Bosnian under-21 international. Didn't get a work permit for us, but signed for us anyway. And then I was able to loan him out to Larne in Northern Ireland, where he did get a work permit. Don't really understand it. We've snapped him up for £800,000. Has a load of potential, some really good mentals, some really good technicals. The kind of player who could end up playing at centre defensive mid, I think, longer term. But hopefully with some regular first-team football this year, he is going to develop one for the future. Who knows, maybe he'll be playing in the first team sooner rather than later. So here is our squad going into the season. You might notice a couple of things shuffled around. Up top, I've decided to play Alain out on the left-hand side as the pressing forward, where last year we had the pressing forward out on the right-hand side. The reason for doing that is he is left-only footedness, of course. This man, the new addition to the team, the man who I'm hoping is going to be the upgrade on Cavan Williams, who of course was absolutely amazing for us in the Championship. He is our record transfer, this man. There's been a lot of question marks over him. I'm hoping he's going to prove his worth this season. Of course, alongside him up front, we have also got Jakob Gaspar, a 19 years old player who has some amazing physicals, some really, really good finishing as well. And of course, on the bench, we still have the likes of Gadier, Cooper and Williams who could come in, the star strikers of last year. In behind, I am sticking with Aboubakari. Look, as I said, I've read the comments. Jaime, The other player that we signed this year who I'm particularly excited about is going to be our roaming playmaker. And I know some people are going to say, Jack, he's not very good defensively, and also he's a really good centre attacking mid. Why wouldn't you play him there? And ultimately, it boils down to a couple of things. Firstly, his defensive ability doesn't really matter as much in this kind of system. If he was a lone centre defensive mid, yeah, I wouldn't play him here. But with 3 centre-backs behind him and Machete alongside, who is a reasonably good tackler of the ball with some good aggression and good tackling, I feel like Jaime can be a bit of a passenger when we don't have the ball. Now, naturally, some people would say, Jack, he's got all this amazing ability at centre attacking mid, play him there. But the reality is that with our quality of player and the style of football we play, we don't really get the ball to the centre attacking mid all that much. We saw that with Boubakary last year, who didn't get a single assist. But within our system, where we like to play it out from the back, we distribute it to the centre-backs, we distribute it to the wing-backs. Having Jaime here with his 18 passing is such a great weapon to have. Not only is he going to be super composed on the ball when we're looking to pass it out from the back, but because he's got traits like comes deep to get the ball and also tries killer balls often, he is a man who can sit deep and ping balls. And whilst he does lack a little bit tackling-wise and marking-wise, you have to look at his anticipation, his decisions, and just his general physicality. He is not a slow player by any means, at least compared to our other centre-mid options. And it's for all those reasons I'm playing him as a roaming playmaker at centre defensive mid. I feel like if I just played him forward here at roaming playmaker, no one would really bat an eyelid. You'd probably sit there and go, yeah, it makes sense. But with how Football Manager works this year and how strong 2 centre defensive mids are, I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of his ability to add a new position to his arsenal. And I'm thinking, and I'm hoping, and I am confident in this, he is going to be a success for us here. I did see some people suggesting that Montero could play at defensive mid, potentially alongside Machete, and then Jaime could play at centre attacking mid instead of Boubakary. But for the reasons I've already mentioned, I want Jaime deeper. His ability on the ball is very, very good. And on top of that, Montero, a little bit questionable when it comes to his first touch and dribbling. And on top of that, his physicals are really, really lacking. I mean, he hasn't got anything above 11 except natural fitness. He's not going to be the most mobile player in the world. And whilst that's not massively important, because Machete is not exactly the most mobile player either, at least when it comes to his acceleration, having someone like Jaime here, who is going to get up and down the pitch a little bit, has some agility, has some ability to find some space when on the ball, I think is going to be valuable this year. And of course, because we are a massive underdog, there's going to be lots of times where we do have to park men behind the ball. And in order to do that, I think a roaming playmaker playing as a centre defensive mid is just way more effective than playing them at centre mid. I say all of that. No, not everyone's going to agree with me. It could still change as the season goes on, but at least to start the season, I feel like it's worth me explaining the method to the madness. With how we play, we have a lot of the ball so deep in our half, then look to play defence splitting passes. Playing Jaime at centre attacking mid, he won't get on the ball that much, and I want this guy involved in our play as we look to build it out from the back. Besides that though, when you look at the team for this year, we have made improvements. Obviously, a big step up to the Premier League this year. We are predicted to finish rock bottom. This is a season where if we get relegated, I'm not going to lose sleep. I'm not going to cry too much. It's about making some money this season, getting some parachute payments in, and hopefully setting ourselves up so that if we do go down this year, we have a very ready-made squad to get out from the Championship. And when I look at our team and its current kind of form and factor, the players we've got, I think we've done the best job we could have done in terms of working towards those goals. Now, incidentally, our first game of the season is away from home. It is against Middlesbrough. Minor issue, they play at the Steve Gibson Stadium. Yeah, in this save game, Middlesbrough have moved ground. With a media prediction of 15th, they are the kind of game that we do need to win. Now, of course, I can't visit a stadium that doesn't exist, but we're going to head to the Riverside Stadium anyway. Look at their stadium in real life, see how it looks on Google Street View. I'll join you for the first away day of the season in, well, half a second. So this is going to be one of the furthest away days we do in our Premier League season. I think Newcastle is further north. I mean, I think. You can see it on the map here. Newcastle is definitely further north, but we are heading to Middlesbrough. And I'll be honest, never been to Middlesbrough before, but, well, the Riverside Stadium, coincidentally, it's next to the river. Who would have thought? I'll tell you now, I'm absolutely shocked that it's next to the river, but here is the Middlesbrough Stadium, and first and foremost, look at this car parkage. We are in the big leagues now. This is the big leagues of car parks. Look at this. Just makes me irrationally happy. Just having a little scour around the outside, I mean, it doesn't look like there's a load of facilities here. There's no casino, there's no water park. I mean, it's just the docks. I mean, I'm not sure what I was expecting. Here is the view from the outside of Middlesbrough Stadium, and I'll be honest, this feels like quite a modern stadium. I'm not sure what year the Riverside was built, but I'm kind of surprised that in this save game they've moved into a new ground. we can go for a wander around the outside. They've got the Legends Lounge here, which I assume just constitutes just pictures of Mark Viduka everywhere. Because let's be honest, Mark Viduka is the greatest Middlesbrough legend of all time. No one can convince me otherwise. I mean, the stadium looked really lively from the previous angle of the front door. This just feels a bit deader, doesn't it, now? If you saw this, you'd think we were back in our first season of Park to Prem, seeing like a garage next door where you can get your MOT done and all this stuff. But no, there is just a big stadium next to us. I mean, this side of the stadium looks kind of nice. Ignore the eyesore that is whatever this. I assume this is some boat thing. What is this? What is that? Is it a statue? I'm so confused. People in Middlesbrough, what the dickens is this? Have UFOs taken over? Am I in an episode of Doctor Who? It's a nice stadium. It's very saturated, this picture. Makes it look a lot greener than I think it actually is in real life. From above, is it a bit generic and a bit soulless? Potentially, but look at the car park. The car park is going to score it some mighty fine points today. It's not a bad stadium, I don't want to say it's soulless, but it is a little soulless. I mean, I've never been to Middlesbrough, so maybe the soullessness is just a Middlesbrough issue rather than an issue tied to the football stadium. But it just lacks a bit of character. It lacks facilities. All it's got going for it is a car park and the fact it's big. Middlesbrough, the Riverside Stadium, not the greatest away day in the world. You get some points for the car park and the big kind of stadium itself, but besides that, not a lot else. Gonna give you 4.5 out of 10. I'm sorry. Just before we head into this first game of the season, if you are excited for the season, make sure to drop a like on the video. I don't really ask for likes on the videos much, but we've not hit over 3,000 likes in like a lot of episodes. So if we could aim for 4,000, that would be amazing. And on top of that, down in the comments right now, scroll down, leave a prediction for where we're going to finish this year. I'm going to boldly stick my neck out on the line and say 17th. I think we can avoid the drop if we get a little bit unlucky and if we can just grind out results. And if some of the signings come together, yeah, let me know what you think down below. And also, it's just good for the YouTube algorithm. So Algorithm Ultras assemble. Let's talk team news. So in terms of team news, couple of things worth noting. Scott Williams still suspended after his sending off at the end of last season in that penultimate game of the year. Elsewhere, Dale Owen out with an injury. This is a man who I was actually looking at selling, but no one really came in for him. Probably would make room for him on the bench, but he's not exactly proven his worth in the Championship, so I'm not sure we're expecting him to contribute massively this year. The only other player who would probably be on the bench who isn't is Ryan Hunter. Picked up a pretty bad injury actually in pre-season. Damaged kneecap, for serious injury, out for 5 weeks. That is a concern because of his injury proneness, but the good news is he is slowly getting back to training, but for today's game, didn't pass the fitness test. In terms of team news, Setford is going to start in goal. He has signed a new deal at the club. He's on £32,500 a week, but we have managed to remove his release clause. Of course, there was lots of interest in him over the summer. Everton made bids. Real Madrid were looking at him, but he is our player at least for this season. At the back, Schmid is going to be playing that left centre-back position where he played for all of last year. A great player with the ball at his feet, very good with the system we play and good in the air. Speaking of good in the air, of course, Teixeira is going to be playing at centre-back, that man with 20 jumping reach, a man who was essential for us last year. Goals for him from set pieces could be what keep us up. And to the right, we of course have Follentin, who has joined the club, new signing. Not sure what to expect from him. Hopefully he's going to have a debut to remember. The midfield and wing backs, slightly more familiar, I suppose. Of course, Adam at left back, Volder at right back, Machete and Hame in the middle, things we love to see. Abubakari at centre attacking mid. And up top, we already talked about them. Jakob Gaspar is going to be starting alongside Alain Chilumbu. I feel like I should learn to say Chilumbu. I feel like I might need to say it a lot. But this man, he's had doubts from the comment section. He is our record transfer, and I'm sticking my neck out on the line today. He is starting over Kavan Williams, who is on the bench. Of course, on the bench, we get 9 options for this year. You can see the names here. Plenty of familiar faces. Not too many new players on the bench, but one man who may be essential this year coming on to offer creative spark is going to be Emiliano Montero. Okay, team submitted. Pretty nervous for this one. Looking at Middlesbrough, they're playing a 4-4-2. Still plenty of players I recognise. Sometimes with Park to Prem, we hit the top division and all the real players have kind of vanished. No, there are still some real players here. And of course, with the regen face pack we have, I'm not sure who's real and who's not. And I think that adds to the magic a little bit of it at this point in a save game. 12 years into the future, we're in the promised land. First game of the year away from home, never going to be easy. Let's see if we can put in a good performance. Last year, one thing that we really prided ourselves on was our ability to control possession. Despite being an underdog team, we were happy to play the ball out for the back and kind of work things slowly. I want to see that trend continue in the Premier League. We know it's going to be harder to retain the ball, but I think it's a foundation for success, as would be a save from a free kick on target in a dangerous area, but it's not needed. Free kick over the crossbar. First highlight of the game goes to Middlesbrough's way, but nowhere near the goal. And now maybe a chance for us as Chilumbu is battling away on the near side. Addons with it, gives it back to Schmidt. Hame to Machete. Lovely build-up play. And I'll tell you what, I thought there was a chance of a shot there, but Chilumbu decided to try and pass the ball. Good news for us is, though, we do still have possession, and it's now with Machete, who's going to try and pick out Volder. Puts a little bit of pressure on the defender and ultimately gets to the second ball. He's going to cross it in. Chilumbu's there, heads it goalwards, but don't celebrate. It was almost the perfect start, but he went too early with his run. It's going to be offside, I assume. VAR's checking it, of course. Yeah, VAR. That's a thing now. We're in the Premier League, and unfortunately for us, it's not going to count. When Volder played the ball here, I did think he'd gone half a second too early. In fact, he might have gone 2 whole seconds too early. Nevertheless, he got the header on target. Reason for optimism, and maybe a chance here as Hame is going to take a free kick forward. Gives it away on this occasion, and now Middlesbrough may be looking to break away. I say that. Look how quickly we just get a whole flurry of players behind the ball. We are going to be defending with 7 players behind the ball at all times. As Collins crosses it in, it's hacked away from danger. Only as far as Davis, who's going to play it back towards Collins. He's going to cross it in, dangerous area, hit goalwards, but Tommy Setford with a good little save there. Chilumbu, can he win the ball? He can't quite. Now Middlesbrough with the ball. Collins bringing it forward. A little bit of a mess defensively here, which we don't love to see. Davis on the overlap crosses it in. That looked offside. I'm looking in the bottom left, and I think the flag has been raised here. We could be about to see a second goal disallowed inside the first 20 minutes. VAR, of course, will now check it. And just to confirm, it was offside. Gut instinct straight away here was, it was offside. I'll tell you what, that is a lot closer than I thought it was. That was lucky. Halfway through the first half here, we've had 69% of the ball, which is what I want to see from us this season. I want to see us dominating the play. And well, we might have a chance here because Addons is on the overlap. Chilumbu played a great ball forward. He attempts to play it in. It falls to Machete, who pulls the trigger from outside the box. It was not far wide. Aboubakari, Schmid, Hame, look at him, pulling the strings from deep. He lays it to Volder, who's going to bring the ball forward as the right wing back here. Goes down the line to Machete, who crosses it in. The trigger is pulled. Is that offside again? I think there was 2 players offside and 1 man onside there. VAR is going to check it. The linesman's flag's up. I want to say I hate VAR. I think it would have been disallowed anyway. I hate the fact I have to wait for VAR. I think that's my issue with it. It was a great finish by Chilumbu again. Eventually, he will score a goal this season. He could have had 2. But yeah, on that occasion, he was offside. If he'd left it for one of the other players, probably could have been a decent goal-scoring opportunity. Approaching half-time here, hasn't been a whole load of chances. Middlesbrough apparently haven't had a shot on target. I feel like they did have one, but the game's not counted it. I'm not going to complain. At the break, good defensive display, created a little bit going forward. Both teams might feel a bit hard done by to not be ahead with all the disallowed goals, but I'm just going to tell the players I'm a happy, clappy chappy. Look at the green! Oh my word, let's see if we can do even more in the second half. Of course, we do have the ability now to make more subs as well. I say make more subs. It's not more subs, but we have 9 players on the bench as opposed to 7, and we can make 5 subs. I think I am going to make some early changes here. Chilumbu's not had the greatest of matches, so I'm going to bring him off and bring in Williams. Elsewhere, Aboubakari has a little bit of a knock that he's carrying, so I am going to bring in Percy Donald to play at shadow striker, I think. Actually, I say that. You know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to listen to the comments section, kind of. Donald last year, of course, did play as a deep line playmaker. Hame is the kind of man we can throw forward in this kind of game. We'll see what he can do there. Gets a little bit of a trial run as we shuffle things around. But I do feel like shuffling is the name of the game. Okay, Volder on this near side throw in. He's going to... I don't even know. No, we're not going to question it. I don't know what that was. Bottom line is, though, it's fallen to Donald, fresh off the bench, pulling the trigger from range. He's looking to have an impact on this game. Given to Addons, who's going to get caught out by Collins. And now Borough getting the ball forward. Vera... Well, I thought for a second they were going to pick out a fantastic pass, but the pass was lacking, and it's given us a chance to maybe bring the ball forward here. Gaspar, inside, Hame, hits it, Williams, passes it to Volder. I don't know what's just happened. I think Williams might have blocked Hame's effort on goal. Gonna shout, I think, some words of encouragement for the players here. Middlesbrough have just made a triple change on the cusp of the hour mark here, and, well, they are looking to get the ball forward. Vera in behind, one-on-one, Setford makes a good stop. It's then hacked away by Schmid for a corner. First real chance of this half for Middlesbrough. First time we've been on the back foot here. Still a set piece to deal with as well. Plenty of players back. Of course, we have got some towering players, and well, the good news for us is we are on this occasion going to get it away from the danger area. Volder is currently struggling on a yellow card at right wing back. The issue is I don't really have another right wing back that I can bring on, at least at the moment. I'm looking at the bench thinking, where do I want to change things? I'm going to bring in McKillop. I think, for Machete. Although, actually, no, we'll keep Machete on the pitch at right wing back. At left wing back, I'm going to bring in Galvez, the new signing, just to get some fresh legs there. We'll save one sub up our back pocket, but to be honest, despite this being 0-0, pretty happy with what I've seen so far. Hame here, free kick from deep. He's going to hit it from range, and I'll tell you what, the keeper's not reacted. That has hit the crossbar. 10 minutes left. Middlesbrough are going to want to go for the win here, you'd imagine. Maybe committing a few more men further up the pitch. We are a big underdog this year. Teams are going to want to take it to us. Maybe gives us a chance in on the counter-attack. Couple of minutes left here. I don't want to change anything. It's been a good little display. Not been any end product, unfortunately, but plenty of reason for positivity. 65% of possession, a clean sheet. It's not been a classic, but I think on the balance of play, on another day we win this game. Of course, this isn't the only game we've got today. We are also going to be taking on Leeds United, who, they started the season by getting absolutely hammered by Liverpool, which probably can't read into too much. You have to imagine this Leeds United team, who are predicted to finish 13th, are going to want to bounce back against us. That game against Leeds, by the way, only 4 days away. I hate the fact that we've got a crowded fixture schedule already. I'm hoping that's not a sign of things to come. I suppose one thing to consider is with all these teams in the Premier League and a fair few of them playing in Europe, they're going to need to rotate their team at some point. Maybe they'll view us as the team that they can rotate against, and maybe that can work out in our favour against weaker teams. Either way, probably can't expect that for this very next game. We are going to be taking on Leeds United. Vitor Roque is their key player. He's quite good, isn't he? Yeah, not looking forward to this. I'll see you in a mo. Okay, folks, game number 2 today against Leeds. I've had a brainwave. I know why we're playing on Wednesday. It's because of our ground share with Sutton United, isn't it? That is 100% what this is. Sutton United, of course, in League 2. Due to the way we're sharing the ground with them, we might just have games at weird times this year, including this one against Leeds United. Now, people were telling me, Jack, can we do an away day at Sutton United Stadium? Here's the issue. This is a stadium that was built 3 years ago in the save game. It's not a real stadium. Now, I guess we could do Sutton's actual stadium, but that kind of feels odd to me, maybe. What I think we might do is at the end of this season, if the last kind of game that we do is a home game, we'll go for a tour around the lovely area of England that is Sutton and try and figure out where this football stadium would be built. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. I could have done 2 away days today, but I'll be honest, I want to focus on the football. A great result in that first game of the season, by the way. A draw away from home against Borough. Nothing to be ashamed of. An opportunity maybe here to do something at home against Leeds United. In terms of team news, exact same team that started the last game. On the bench, couple of little changes here and there, but you might notice Scotty Williams still suspended. Ryan Hunter is on the bench as a right wing back option if we need him. Would have been useful to have last game, to be honest. If we could avoid defeat in this game again here, I would consider that a really, really good start to this season. Obviously, predicted to finish bottom. Our team is definitely lacking quality. We are going to have to be the underdogs here. We need to grind out some results, and there was no shame in that opening game of the season. Hopefully, we can get a goal in this game. That's the new aim, I think, for us. Is Chilumbu, threaded through by Hame, is going to play it inside Hame. Roman playmaker, switches it. Volder hits it, and I'll tell you what, that was not far wide of the mark by the right wing back. Set piece for us here. Hame over the corner, whipping it back post. Tajero was lurking away. It's cleared away as far as Gaspar, who's going to give it back to Hame, who right now in this game feels like he's having a real role to play as the Roman playmaker. Adam almost caught in possession, in fact, is caught in possession, but Schmid there to mop up the pieces. Down the line to Adam he goes. Can the left wing-back pull out a ball of quality? It's low, it's driven, it's dealt with by Leeds. But good to see us having a little bit of attacking intent early on in this game, getting the ball forward into some dangerous areas. Leeds now looking to play the ball out from the back onto this right-hand side. Voldal reads the ball really well there. Could go inside, could go on his lonesome. Tries to square it, blocked away. But yeah, I mean, we're getting the ball forward here. We are really pushing this Leeds United team, I feel like. But sadly for us, we're without the ball. And I know that what we've seen so far does not constitute a Football Manager highlight. More has to happen here. And, oh my word, what is happening? We have to watch that again. I'm sorry, that is mental. I've seen some weird highlights in Football Manager. Have you seen one this weird? Adam has the ball. He leaves it inside to Hame, who overhits a pass. And then the keeper... I don't know what the keeper's doing. This Football Manager match engine is bizarre, isn't it? Can we all agree that? I don't know what I've just seen. Corner for us here. Hame again on the ball. He is at the heart of everything we do. It's back post, and I'll tell you what, Tajero has only just headed that over. We're only 10 minutes into this game. I feel like I should have added a Hame counter. Every time I have to say his name, we hit a button, so we know what's going on. Either way, we've got the ball here. He's on the ball again, laying it to Aboubakari, who's going to turn and lay it wide to Follentin, the Danish winger. I don't know why I'm saying his name like he's French. Gaspar with the ball in the middle. Signed for 600k, and he could prove to be a bargain. Jakub Gaspar, first goal of the season. Volder, who's been very, very active, I feel like, in the highlights we've seen so far in this game, with the assist from right wing back. Just caught Leeds United very narrow here. Volder with loads of time and space. Ball played forward. Gaspar is left-footed, just as a little reminder. But on that occasion, from a very difficult angle, he scored it on his weaker foot. Half an hour played here. Worth noting, Leeds United are playing a 4-4-2. I feel like the 4-4-2 does not match up nicely against our system. I feel like our system really exposes some of the gaps, and defensively, it's very difficult for a 4-4-2 to break us down. And offensively, we create chances, and I'll tell you what, we very nearly scored another one there. Meslier, still at Leeds United in this universe with a great little stop. Chilumbu with the ball, holding it up and giving it to Volder out on that far side. He is running the show for us, lays it forward towards Gaspar, getting some deja vu here. Gaspar holds it up, gives it back to Volder, squared inside. Aboubakari shoots it, and it's blocked wide. We do still have a corner maybe to make something of here. With Kavan Williams no longer on the pitch, Hamé is the man to put the ball in, and Teixeira's walloped that against the crossbar, and Aboubakari blazes it over. This has been a really dominant first half for us. 55% of the ball, but creating so much more than Leeds. I just have to hope we're not going to live to regret so many of these chances that I feel like we've squandered. We should be getting another goal. There is maybe still time for another goal. Is it going to be for us? Is it going to be for them? We could be in trouble because Tezgel hits us on the break, and my worst fears are realised before half-time's even come. It's 1-1 here. All started with our own throw in here. Adam threw it down the line towards Chilumbu, who was caught out defensively. We're just napping a little bit there. Tezgel finds a gap, finds the finish, and, well, yeah, Leeds back in this game, and they don't deserve it. Half-time here, 1-1. I mean, if that was the scoreline that you'd given me before kickoff, I would have taken it. Given the nature of that half, I have to tell the players I'm not happy. I want them fired up. I want even more in this second half. Machete and Aboubakari have struggled a little bit in this game, as has Chilumbu. If we go a goal down, I might make some changes sooner than I was planning to. And, well, we have got a corner to try and deal with here. Pablo with the ball, gives it inside to Devine, hits it, loops up to Jonesy, hits it on the volley, and then Victor Roque heads it in for a goal. Now, the linesman's flag is not raised here, but this is going to be checked by VAR. I think because the flag's not raised, this is going to be a goal. Football Manager has these weird quirks for how you can tell what's going to happen with VAR, and, well, I've kind of forgotten them because it's been a while since I've played in a league with VAR. But unfortunately for us, this goal is going to count. I'm not even sure Jones was looking for a pass there, but Roque managed to get his noggin on it. And it's 2-1. Impossible not to feel hard done by based on what we've seen in this game. I'm going to make some changes. I am going to bring in, I think, McKillop to play as the shadow striker for us. I'm going to bring in Montero as well. I think to play at, you know what, I'm going to put Hamé at centre attacking mid, I think. I'm going to bring in Montero and just switch him to a deep line playmaker on support. We've dominated the play really well. I don't want to make too many super aggressive changes, but I do feel like, especially when it comes to our midfield, we've got lots of players of a very similar level of quality. So if a couple of them are having bad games, as they were in this one, it's fairly easy just to change things up. And, well, Schmid hits the crossbar. Gaspar's got the rebound. Is this going to count? I think this is going to count. It's 2-2. I mean, Gaspar's got his second goal of the season. We signed him for £600,000. Schmid headed it against the crossbar. No one reacted. There was just a train of defenders behind Gaspar, but he was at the front of the train. And he's tucked it away for what will probably be the easiest finish he has all season. Gotta think, with half an hour left here, there's going to be more goals. It just feels like that kind of game, doesn't it? Leeds United bringing it forward. Schmid wins the header. McKillop gets to the second ball. Of course, Montero and McKillop, two fresh legs in the midfield. Hopefully going to run the show for us as Chilumbu is played through, should finish it, has to finish it, does finish it. It's 3-2 here. We're making up for the 0-0 last game. This is instantly turning into a classic. Two new strikers in Gaspar and Chilumbu linking up nicely. Montero on off the bench helping with the build-up play as well. Brought the ball out superbly. Chilumbu, not the easiest chance. He had a defender on his trail. He had the keeper to beat from not the simplest of angles, but it's a really good composed finish, and well, it looks like the £6 million price tag isn't hanging over his head too much. That said, more football to be played here. Ball dink, Victor Roque hits it, and Setford turns it round the post. That would have counted. That was a weird set-piece routine from Leeds that very nearly caught us out. We do still have this corner to deal with, what, 23 minutes left? I still feel like there's more goals to happen here. I don't feel like we're the best team defensively. It doesn't look like Leeds are great defensively. Lots of talent on display going forward, and, well, he very nearly scored there. We are looking dangerous going forward, and, well, given how this game's played out so far, I think we might need another goal, especially if we're going to shoot ourselves in the foot like that. Tejero, you lucky boy. He very nearly got caught out there. 10 minutes left. I'm just going to tell our players to lower the tempo slightly and get rid of pass into space. This is the kind of game where I feel like we just need to see it out. I'm going to take off Hame. I'm going to bring in Percy Donald. Elsewhere, Chilumbu off for Kavan Williams. I've got one last sub in my back pocket. Follenton has not had the best of games for us here. I'm going to bring in Peter Morrow at right centre-back just to, well, make our final sub and get in a few extra fresh legs for what remains of this game. We would just want to see this out now. Leeds, by the way, have changed their system. I'm not sure why they've changed their system to a 5-2-3. I feel like this works for us. Of course, could just be talking a goal conceded into existence by saying that. But with 5 minutes of added time and time trickling away, I hope, with 1 minute left, we are going to get our first win of the season in our first home game of the season. Leeds, very keen to get the ball back into play, though. They are looking to get the ball forward with intent. Schmid, who was, well, at parts responsible for one of the goals we've scored, has mopped up the play there. Tejera passed short to him, but he does well to get there. Montero and McKillop have really had an impact in this game. Percy Donald now linking up the play. Donald bringing it forward. Kavan Williams to his left. Gaspar to his right. Gaspar for the hat-trick takes it. Welcome, my little mate, who we've signed for £600,000. What a home debut for him. And what a first game in the Premier League for us. 4 goals scored. Gaspar with a hat-trick. And has it been the most classic of hat-tricks? Has it been the most sexy? Not really, but there's been some fine finishing on display. It's another goal on his weaker right foot. And with that, and 20 seconds left, that is game, set and match, everyone. First win of the season, 4-2 win. Absolutely massive. And we have one man to thank. Jakob Gaspar. Remember the name, 17 finishing, £650,000 paid. He's just got a hat-trick in his Premier League home debut. Might be worth that £27,000 a week. Have to tell the players I'm very happy. What I'm not happy with is the state of this changing room. Can we tidy up the mess on the floor, please, lads? Not happy about that. I don't want to get too carried away too soon. We're winning the league, everyone. Look at it. Take a screenshot. Remember this day. Guernsey, top of the Premier League. We have played a game more than everyone else, but don't overread into that too much. Gaspar, I mean, I just have to praise him, don't I? There's nothing else to do here. He's just got a 10.0 rating. He has single-handedly carried us in that game, taken the opportunities that came his way. And, well, knowing my luck, he'll now not score for the rest of the season. But I think a star might have been born today. I don't want to get too carried away prematurely, but with an unbeaten start to the season and 4 points in our first 2 games, I think we're staying up, everyone. Of course, we have got a very, very long season ahead of us. I'm not entirely sure when we're going to be back next time. We have got Man City away in mid-October. That could be a game that we come back for. Looking at our upcoming games, there's some difficult ones in here. Liverpool away, Newcastle at home, Arsenal away, Man City away, then Chelsea and Tottenham. I'm kind of looking ahead to November, December already, thinking that might be a slightly funner time for fixtures where there are a few more winnable games. Nevertheless, a crazy, crazy start to this season. I hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Let me know what you thought about the team on display, how the players performed. Are you convinced by Hame at centre defensive mid as a roaming playmaker? Let me know. Answers on a postcard. We'll be back tomorrow with some more Park to Prem action. Until then, take it easy. It's me, Jack, and I'll see you all again on the next one. I'm out.